Hey, Minnesota State Representative Krista Knutson. We started session this week. We gavelled in on Tuesday at noon and we hit the ground running. It's been a really busy week and I want to give you some of the highlights. Democrats started the week by introducing a package of bills all aimed at reining in ICE. They have bills that would mandate no masking for ICE. They have bills mandating where ICE can go, where they can't go, who can work with our federal law enforcement officers, and who can't. Just ridiculous pieces of legislation because in reality, the state has no jurisdiction and has no authority over a federal law enforcement agency. It's a big waste of time, but also a big waste of taxpayer money. Republicans are focused on stopping the fraud. We have historic fraud in our state. And I need to give you a little bit of background information to understand exactly how we're trying to help stop the fraud in Minnesota. We had a bill, our number one priority bill last year was House File 1. We refer to this as the OIG bill. This bill has been heavily worked on by both parties in both the Senate and the House. Last year, at the end of session, the Senate passed this bill 60-7. Remember, the Senate is currently held by Democrats, 1-seat majority. They had so much bipartisan support on this bill that they passed it at the end of session 60-7. And then all the support and all the momentum that we had to pass it in the House stopped. Democrats all of a sudden refused to even bring it to the floor for a vote. So we didn't get this done last year. It was a really big hope that we would get this done this year. I need to tell you a little bit about how our Office of Inspector Generals is run right now so you can understand the importance of why we need to pass this piece of legislation. Currently, each bureaucratic agency has an Office of Inspector General housed within the agency. Those agencies are overseen by a commissioner. That commissioner is handpicked and appointed by the governor. See the conflict of interest there? It's like the fox watching the hen house. Our bill would take all of those offices of Inspector General and would move them into an independent agency. They would not be overseen by the governor, and they would have law enforcement authority. They could actually investigate the fraud that has been destroying our state. Yesterday in committee, State and Local Gov Committee, they took the bill that had been passed in the Senate, and Democrats offered a delete everything amendment to that bill. What that means is they took that language that was agreed upon by both Democrats and Republicans in the Senate, and they deleted all of that language. They replaced it with language that would water down that bill so much that the new independent Office of Inspector General would have no law enforcement authority, and it would still be overseen by the governor. Exactly what we all know we need to avoid, what we all know we need to change so we can finally look into the fraud that's been occurring in our state. Last night on the House floor, Republicans tried to declare an emergency to bring that bill to the floor, to declare an urgency to bring that bill to the floor for an immediate vote for passage. Every single Democrat in the House refused. We will keep fighting for this. This is a very obvious common sense approach to stopping the fraud and investigating the fraud, but Democrats in the House are not working with us. It's ridiculous. We have to stop the bleeding. And that brings me to another thing that I've been asked so many times since starting to do these videos is, why aren't you prosecuting these people? Why aren't you arresting these people? I'm a lawmaker. I have no more ability to arrest somebody than you do. I can't arrest anybody. Prosecution has to come from the executive branch of government. And we're in a hard spot here in Minnesota because our executive branch of government is our attorney general, our governor. I don't think that they're going to be arresting many people here. I don't even know what they're doing to look into this right now. I do know that the federal government is looking into the fraud in Minnesota because of all of the Medicaid dollars that are involved. I do know that the federal government has agents on the ground, HSI, FBI. They're doing investigations and they're looking into this. And I do know that President Trump does not back down. I do know that he will see this through. So it's going to take time. They have to cross their T's and dot their I's. They can't let any technicality or any procedural issue get in the way. They have to do this right, and that will take time. And in the meantime, I fully expect that more fraud will be exposed. That's where we're at. That's just a few things that happened in my first week in session. It's going to be a tough year. There's not much compromise right now. But you know what? Minnesota is still worth fighting for.